All right, I call to order this public hearing on the budget for fiscal year 25-26, scheduled for the council chambers on this date, Tuesday, May 6th, 2025 at 6:30. Mr. Clerk, can we please have the roll?
Councilmember Enos.
Here.
Councilmember Hamud.
Here.
Councilmember Abraham.
Here.
Councilmember Paris.
Here.
Councilmember El Sawafi.
Here.
Councilmember Herrick. Council President Sereni.
Here.
We have a quorum.
All right, thank you, Mr. Clerk. There are public comment cards that we have in the corners, available on either side of the room. If you'd like to wish to address the council regarding the topic of the budget for fiscal year 25-26, please fill out the cards. And we will definitely be taking that during our speaking portion of the meeting. We're here today to consider and take action concerning the proposed fiscal year 25-26 budget and the 25 city tax rate pursuant to the requirement contained in section 2-517 of the city code. At this time, we would, before I turn it over to Director Kennedy, I just wanted to make a comment that the meeting here, the mayor has delivered the third structurally balanced budget for the Dearborn City Council. And the council has held 7 meetings with the city departments to review the budget. We also fulfilled our public hearing requirement last Thursday, May 1st, 2025. Director Kennedy, would you like to proceed?
Sure.
All right.
Good evening, Michael Kennedy, Finance Director. For the public budget adoption meeting, we have a small packet here, which I'll go over, roughly 6 pages. Page 1, we talked about last week, but it's updated. It's the executive financial summary overview. Top 3 lines are the general fund. In the green, I'm looking at column 2, which is the proposed budget for 2026, showing revenues of $151,773,603, with expenditures proposed at $151,356,914, which brings a surplus of revenues over expenditures of $416,689 as proposed. The middle 3 lines are all funds combined, so that's all the other funds, the enterprise, the special revenue funds, the fiduciary funds, as well as the general fund. Total revenues for all funds are $392,161,027. Expenditures are proposed at $380,568,552, showing a proposed surplus of $11,592,475. Just below that in the blue is the tax rate proposed to be levied for the 2025 tax year, which is the 25-26 fiscal year. And the total millage rate is 22.9, which remains unchanged from the previous year. If there were no questions on that page, I'll move on to page 2.
Director Kennedy,
Yes.
just a brief synopsis. I think we did speak before regarding the all funds, and I don't want to give misconception to anybody watching when they show $11 million surplus. A lot of this is funds that are collected for future work that is proposed, such as CSO and so on and so forth. Is that an accurate statement?
Yes, there's multiple things that are collected for future events. Capital projects funds, the sewer fund has many $1 million of project work to be done. It also has fiduciary accounts in there. So, yes, that's correct.
I just wanted to make sure. So the regular structural operating, other than the all funds, would have a proposed surplus of which number is that one? The one?
$416,689.
Okay. That's what's proposed right now.
Correct.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure, because when somebody hears $11 million, I want to,
Yeah.
those are usually already spent or accounted for.
Yeah, and the reason we show both is because I have a duty as the finance director in state law to present all the budgets for all the funds.
No, I agree. No, I like the way it's presented. I just wanted to make sure that they're fully aware regarding this. So It's not $11 million. These are projects that are in the works or are proposed to be done, that we haven't executed on yet. All right, go ahead and continue. Thank you.
Sure. Page 2 is just a summary. The first column shows you what was delivered on May 1st as the mayor's proposed budget. The middle column shows you adjustments. And the last column shows you what we just went over, where we're at. So that's just a summary. Pages 3 and 4 are the detail of those changes that were made between April 1st, when the mayor presented his proposed budget, and where we sit today. The significant things were addition of 4-man crew for the catch basin clean crew. We also did make additional changes since last week for the clerk's election division. Since there's no primary, we were requested to take out $111,000 in wages and $75,000 in other operating election expenses. And then also additionally, there are 3 new police officers in the budget. And any questions on those pages?
No.
So that brings us to page 5 and 6, which is the proposed budget adoption resolution. Similar to what we mentioned in the public hearing, really the only large change or different change was the second resolved, and the third item under that resolve is where we detail that the clerk election division appropriations are authorized at the division level, and the budget can only be reallocated from or to this division. So we can't move it from the general clerk admin division into the elections division. And then on page 6, it gives you the mills that we talked about that will be levied. Again, under the third resolve on page 6, talks about the hardship, health insurance, retirement option, and the federal poverty level is set at 250%. So last year there was a typo, but we've updated that. And the rates have been updated to the new 2025 rates. And that's really all I have to present today.
Thank you, Director Kennedy. So before we have any council members that'd like to make a statement regarding the budget, I wanted to see if there's any further question from my colleagues, substantive, that they'd like to have or didn't have time to get before the meeting. So I just wanted to make sure. Is there any questions from my colleagues? All right, excellent. Anything, Mayor, from yourself you'd like to add before we go to the public side? No? Okay. So at this time, before the council votes regarding this, I'd like to give the opportunity for the public again, we had comment cards, but you're more than welcome to just raise your hand. And again, this is for fiscal year 25-26. It's a balanced budget, and if there's any questions, please just be recognized, and you can come up and have the floor. Yeah, you don't have to fill out the cards if you don't want. Okay. All right, excellent. Yeah, it's pretty. Yes, sir. Come on up.
Dennis Duggan, 21800 Morley Avenue, apartment 1101. I don't know exactly why I'm here. I just want to get up and say I'm a little frustrated at this end of my life with a lot of these kind of situations where we gather together and we put a whole lot of responsibility on people that maybe we even chose, but we who sit out, I come from a religious background, so I'll say, those who sit out in the pews look up and say, okay, something like this means you take care of it. It's yours. It's not ours. So in the implementation of this budget, what I'd like to just say, encourage, it's a Catholic line, but they talk about the renewal of worship in the Catholic Church, that you have to have full conscious active participation, full conscious active participation. And I would like you, even as you're voted in by us, to turn back and say to us, make sure you got some full, active, conscious participation in the life, even though it's a beautiful budget, even though somebody else is taking care of it, even though it looks so big, it's still not sit back and just go for the ride. Get involved, be involved, and stay involved. Amen.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dennis.
All right, anyone else here to address the council? All right, so I'm going to open up to my colleagues. I'll start off by just saying, of course, I'd like to thank the mayor for the proposed balanced budget. Of course, all your department heads that participated, of course, regarding the budget hearings or budget sessions times, and specifically for all the requests. For me personally, this is one of the, I think, most streamlined budget that I've had an association with in my time. It's a lot easier when you're balancing your budget and paying all your resource, all the stuff you're supposed to pay on time. So for me, it gives us an opportunity, instead of always looking at trying to cut things that we can do. So I'm very pleased with the budget. I wanted to make sure that I did thank, of course, the mayor and administration, all the department heads regarding it, and of course our staff too, for the requests and the time that we spent long hours here going over it, but I think it was worth it, and we did get it done in the required time. A couple of highlights that I thought are very important that we brought up from the council side, and then some from the mayor as well, that were substantial to make a difference. As we heard from our director, there was something that when I first came on that Councilman Abraham had brought up regarding maintenance of catch basins and so on, and with the sewer issue we have. I asked for us to explore now what it would cost to maintain them. So that's the way it works, folks. You know, the council comes up with an idea that might work and find if they can budget it. So the mayor took it to heart as he's seen that my colleagues all agreed, and went out and instead of us contracting we have 11,000, I think, sewer grates and sewer inlets throughout the city, that it would actually be more cost effective to hire 4 full-time people that will be doing this throughout a 2-year cycle of cleaning out the catch basins and making sure that this preventative maintenance is something that we really do. And folks, there's no silver bullet for flooding or water. We have to do it's a collective aspect. So for myself, something that my colleague Councilman Abraham brought up 12, 13 years ago, I thought that this was the right time to bring it forward for the budget, and we were able to do it. So I do appreciate that. 4 full-time employees that will be in charge of taking care of those, regardless if they're on the county or state road or trunks. But we have to do that in order to make sure that, the water gets through and we don't have any more problems regarding flooding, or mitigate as much as we can, which those that do watch the council meetings have seen many preventative measures that we've been doing, many clean-outs of old tanks to make sure we get our full capacity. So the 4 new people for Public Works going into that catch basin and grate cleaning is, I think, a big win for the council and for the residents. We also added 4 new people to our full-time Clean Streets crew, which is an initiative that we brought forward with full support of the council last year, and the mayor has taken that, and it's made a difference. Now we have a total of 10 people in that department, which is sole job is to make sure that we get blight, trash, things that are unsightly off of our streets as soon as possible, and then find out who was responsible for that later, so we can get our city looking good. And then more importantly, I think, or just as importantly, I could say, was the addition of 3 new police officers. A lot of that was not spoken during the budget aspect, but when you think about it now, we're at 191 sworn officers with these 3 additional officers. So our police department, I think, speaks for itself, as well as our fire department and what our residents expect out of public safety. And that's why they're paying the taxes that they are. So the increases on these personnel, I think, must be highlighted, and I think is very important for the residents to know what we're doing with their tax dollars. Lastly, we added 3 additional code enforcement officers. So folks, under the previous administration, before the mayor took over, we had many part-time code enforcement people. The issue happened was that we were having too much inconsistency and not enough more continuity. So under the model, through the mayor's leadership and the council definitely supported, we started switching to full-time. We're adding in this budget additional 3 more neighborhood code enforcement officers to bring us to 10. So that much better than having 20 part-time or 25 part-time people. More continuity, and I think we'll see some more enforcement where we do need it than the times that we do need it. So again, for myself, I was very, very pleased with this budget sessions and what we accomplished. And it's always good to balance your budget and make sure you do what you're supposed to. So at this point, I want to open up to my colleagues, if anybody has a comment to make. Okay, Mayor?
Said beautifully.
All right, thank you. Mayor, would you like to add something?
I just want to say that Councilman Abraham's estimates on the catch basins was way off. He thought it was $5 a catch basin to clean.
I think it was, that's how long ago it was.
It would have been a long time ago. I think you highlighted all the strong points, Council President. I think it's really encouraging to come in now. We have 3 structurally balanced budgets for the first time in 2 decades, and we're addressing all of our expenses. This budget also reflects the record pay increases that we're able to offer to our employees.
That's true.
And so being able to balance your expenses, knowing that you've also been able to offer that, I think speaks volumes. And there's so much more ahead of us. And obviously there's many parks investments still maintaining this budget, investments in some of the basic core services, kind of back to the basics phrase that we've been using for some time. So onward and upward.
Yeah, excellent. Thank you, Mayor. I mean, I think the theme is, as we always said, governmental function. It should remain a governmental function, and we're trying to do what we can and not outsource things that we can do ourselves more effectively and have more control over. So looking forward to the next fiscal year. All right. Since we have no other comments from the council, is anyone else from the city? Yeah, from the residents, please step forward. And just a kind reminder, your name and address and for the record.
Dennis Duggan, Morley Manor. Can you just say or tell me whether the addition of the officers had to do with a needs analysis and a possibility analysis as opposed to the charter in the charter line? Because as much as I love our public safety folks, the fact that their hiring concern I think was not good for the city. So can we explain?
Yeah, it's not the charter, great question. I'm going to segue into the mayor to maybe discuss, but for us, it's not a charter provision because it was an agreement between the union and collective bargaining. But for ourselves, I mean, the mayor's in charge of the police chief and that department, but from our understanding, it was the logistics of how we deploy people and have officers in the street. But Mayor, would you like to add?
Which is the way it should be. I mean,
Yeah,
it should
the
go
goal is
from
to expand our traffic unit, which is going after speeding and reckless driving. And so 3 officers were allocated in this budget to expand.
And they're going to stay on Ford Road between Southfield and Telegraph at 6 to 8 p.m.
For more.
Thank you, Mayor. All right, if there's no other questions or comments from the floor, Director Kennedy?
Yes, sir. Michael Kennedy, Finance Director. I just wanted to not be remiss and thank my staff.
Of course.
A lot of hard work. And really, I just want to notice that Corey Jiraki, Deputy Finance Director, does a superb job. He single-handedly is managing and moving these parts and pieces. I get to be the microphone at the end of the day. And so I just want to thank all my staff and the input from the council and the feedback, and appreciate the opportunity to deliver the balanced budget, and look forward to more.
Absolutely. Thank you, Director Kennedy. No, I do appreciate that. I didn't want to single out each individual, but we know and we do appreciate Mr. Jiraki. He's the guy that we could say if the water went up by 0.1% and with this size meter, how many homes will be affected and what will be the rate? That's a lot of work. We understand that, so we do appreciate it, but it takes a team. and you guys have a great team. So we're very pleased. I think this is one of the times that I've been on here where we had less questions than normal, and things were answered ahead of time. So we're getting to understand each other and making sure we're both on the same side. We do appreciate it. All right, if there's no other further questions, if you have one, you can just step forward before we go for it.
You comment card or?
You know, if you're, you know what, since you're coming up, you're good, just come on up and state your name and address for a record, and you can go ahead. And just kind of reminder, it's a 3-minute limitation. The clerk will give you a 30-second warning. Go ahead, sir.
Thank you, Council President. I think I walked in a little bit while you were doing your budget hearing, so my apologies. I'm actually not a resident, but my name is Robert Plowski. I live at 12757 in Chestnut Street in Southgate, Wayne County. And I'm actually here on the purposes, not just on personal business, but here I sit on the Smart Advisory Council,
Yes.
which is for the Smart Bus system. I know we had Council President come to one of our
Right.
meetings regarding some issues in the city when they were going over their smarter mobility plans. So I wanted to personally come down and introduce myself and say that you have the backs of me. And a lot of the issues that you had brought up at the meeting was very important, especially when it comes to bus shelters. I know that's something you were working on with the property owner over at Michigan and Outer Drive, so it's
Yes.
a major issue. So I've actually expedited that to our council. We have our next meeting in June. I believe I've sent the information to you, but I'd be happy to send it around to all council members that would be interested. The purposes of the Smart Advisory Council are specifically for people with disabilities, seniors, and students, and we have members all across the county, including the city of Detroit, from Wayne, Oakland, Macomb counties. I'm one of the Wayne County members at large, so I take a lot of the issues that we sit down and we be able to have those discussions internally with staff and be able to have that with the board as well. So if you have any questions or anything specifically you would like regarding transit service answered, I can definitely put you in the right direction for contacts to make sure you have an efficient response. And again, I do apologize to make sure that doesn't happen again. And remember, you guys have you have someone on council that's able to come over and answer questions for you. So feel free to pull me aside if you have anything going forward. But thank you so much for your time.
Well, I appreciate the email you said you had sent me, so, and I know I responded recently to it. So if you don't mind giving our Jackie getting his info, I know I have it.
I have it.
But oh, you do? Okay, good. So did I copy you on it probably? Yeah, good. We'll get it, we'll get with you on it, but we do appreciate you being able to hear our concerns for our residents. I know the Councilwoman Herrick was there with me as well. But we do appreciate, like you said, you got to say it or they'll never know, so we do appreciate it.
You got to say it one way or the other, and I appreciate you voicing those concerns
Yeah,
too. On a
thank you.
personal note, I would like to thank Mayor Abdul Hamid for all the sustainability projects that you're doing in the city. I personally want to say that, and it's, trust me, the only city on this side of town that's actually doing something like you're doing, so.
Great.
Keep
Well,
up the good
We
work.
have some houses for sale if you want to move in.
I'll definitely keep that in mind.
Thank you. All right, we do appreciate that. Any budgetary questions before the council moves, because we have a 7 o'clock regular council meeting? Okay, at this time, do we have an offer to adopt the budget and the city tax rate as presented?
Support.
I'm sorry, offered by Councilman Hamud, supported by Councilwoman Herrick. Mr. Clerk, can we have a roll? Now, this is the one you go by the number.
Yeah, we're starting with
All right.
Councilmember Enos.
All right.
Councilmember Enos?
Yes.
Councilmember Hamud?
Yes.
Councilmember Abraham?
Yes.
Councilmember Paris?
Yes.
Councilmember Asawafi?
Yes.
Councilmember Herrick?
Yes.
Council President Sereni?
Yes.
7 yeas, the budget is adopted.
Excellent, excellent. Great job, guys. All right, if there's no additional business, I would like to entertain a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn by Councilman Herrick. All right, we will start back at 7.